Welcome to the Ant-Man channel. It is Thursday, the 24th of January 2013. Today in the news we got, Rush Limbaugh saying that we're in the midst of a race war. We've got CNN, TV personality Piers Morgan. He got sick off of a flu vaccine or something. I don't know. I haven't really read into it. We also have Hollywood actors and scandals and the type of immorality they push on the in through the mainstream media. So the three topics that we have today, I happen to have I'm clued in to what's going on in these three fields here. Divide and conquer, setting the people to fight against each other, making them live in a matrix, thinking that everyone's out to get them, living in fear. So we got that happens through narcissism, watching these Hollywood actors demoralize you on the television. Watching too many game shows, because that creates narcissism. You become this almost zombie-like person that just wants to go and become famous. Like, you have this distorted vision of what your destiny is. Your destiny isn't to become famous and get on the TV and act immoral and get naked and whatever people do these days. You have a much greater destiny than that, and if only you could unveil the Hollywood matrix and look and take a glimpse into the world and for what it is, and the supernatural powers that are flowing gracefully through all of us. If only we are conscious to it and honor God. But as I get into the news, I'm just gonna have to say that real quick. I guess I'm just not saying anything else. Anyways. I didn't get the best sleep in the world, so, bear with me if I'm mumbling, if I'm ranting, but I'll get into the news. This article I have in front of me is from WorldNet Daily. It is entitled, CNN Shakeup Expected to Push Piers Morgan. Source Network looking to install new political show in evening slot. The establishment media knows that you aren't buying the gimmick, the act, of gun control and all these people pushing guilt and stepping on the graves of these children that died. They know that the general public does not buy it. I always say that the Obama administration took a step They took the next step in their agenda too soon, in my opinion. And, there are zombies out there, but the zombies they're not enough of them. And there are a lot of people out there that know that guns are still good. Guns are the reason that we are a republic. But, we live like pretty much under all these unconstitutional laws that make us not really a republic anymore. Not even a democracy, but, out of control dictatorship, disguised as a democracy with a president and all that. But when you hear Barack Obama talk and he's saying that we're a collective, it's like, you're trying to be a monarchy. You're not King Obama. But then again, he doesn't listen to us and he tells us straight to our faces. You got, his best friend, Hillary Clinton, yelling at the GOP, and it's just, why is everyone laying down to these fake liberals for? Why is everyone laying down to them and they get to yell all they want and act as uncontrolled and just ludicrous, and just they get to act out of control, and it's perfectly fine. I don't get what the Republican Party, the Tea Party, is doing. I don't really get it. I mean, I'm starting to just assume they're all in on it, and that they just let the Democrats. I think that the Republicans have a sick fetish of letting the Democrats, step all over them. It's like they enjoy losing to them or something. I don't get it. But anyways, let me get into this article. before I go on to a giant rant. CNN talk show host Piers Morgan has been making headlines lately, throwing, as one commentary described, a hissing fit in front of one guest, berating others and even calling Larry Pratt of gun owners and of America. Larry Pratt is of Gun Owners of America, and he called him an unbelievably stupid man. Piers Morgan is an imbecile, but the network's ratings still are in the basement, and there are reports of a coming shakeup that might move Morgan to a late evening slot away from prime time. A recent report in the New York Post confirmed that the slumping cable news network is considering moving his hour-long interview show from the prized 9 p.m. slot back to 10 p.m. or even later. Nobody likes you, Piers Morgan, and CNN they have to even put you in a different time slot because it's just, you've lost your audience, man. You discredit yourself by telling us when you're not even one of us. Yeah, you're a human being, but you're not an American citizen. Oh, you're not an American. You're not born here. You don't have the same rights that we do. And you're coming to our country, and then you're telling us that we're a bunch of KKK members, and that we are stupid, and that we are the ones that kill kids in schools. It's just, listen to yourself, man. This isn't, I don't know how far off of, these liberals these days have gone off the far side, man. These guys are they've gone off the deep end these days. They don't really know what reality is. They're so perverted in their thinking that they think this is Amalek or something, This isn't, we are a mirror image of Israel, this country, and, these liberals are trying to turn it into an ungodly, nation. It was a startling graphic on the Drudge Report, which quoted Morgan as saying that one day he would beat Fox's Bill O'Reilly, that recently pointed out Morgan's viewership was 595,000 to O'Reilly's 3,000 or 3,300,056. Let me say that over again. 3,356,000. And who watches Fox these days? I don't know. Who gets their news from these corporate media whores? If you're still getting your news from them, God, wake up, man. Wake up, for God's sake. For the love of God, just wake up. It is, if you're letting these guys mentally oppress you with their racist that, blame rich people this, and AIDS that, come on, you guys. Get over it. Get over all of the gossip, and get over all of the dumminess. It's really dumminess. The stuff that they focus on, their issues that they focus on are to make us all fight with each other. And you guys should be shame on you if you get off on that stuff, and shame on you too if you don't want to get away from it and actually seek the truth, knowing that it's not. You gotta know in your spine, man, in your gut, that what you hear on the corporate whore media news that isn't exactly right, man. You can know pretty quick that things aren't going very well by listening to these guys. They don't talk about anything that is really going on. Even in the same time slot as Morgan, Fox's Sean Hannity drew 2,276,000, and MSNBC's Rachel Maddow drew 1,096,000. Independent WorldNet daily sources today confirmed that CNN is discreetly looking for producers for a new political show for an evening slot. The New York Post said the shakeup coincides with the arrival of incoming CNN chief Jeff Zucker, who want higher ratings from star performers during 7 p.m. until 10 p.m. A Post source reported that Morgan will remain as CNN officials are not interested in doing a total cleaning of house. Also in the mix would be Anderson Cooper's show, which has been appearing at 8 p.m. and then repeated again at 10 p.m. because of the failure of Elliot Spitzer's show. Elliot Spitzer's show. Morgan, who just marked 2 years on his show, was brought into the network when Larry King departed. Another old... Larry King, you guys... that guy's I mean, whenever I see somebody who is so quick to, like, you know, discredit a Christian or a pastor or make fun of Jesus or something, it's like you've gone too far for me, okay? I know what you're doing. You think it's cute and you think you can just say something that's total blasphemy and then just like say, oh, well, you know, it's a joke, so everything's cool. It's like, no, dude, now I really consider what you say now, and now I see what kind of a person you are. Like, you got, why is it alright to make fun of Christians, you guys? Like, why is it okay? And then, like, you got people, and then you got, you know, Muslims complaining like women all day about every little thing that you say, or like, I mean, it's ridiculous, you guys. Like, why is it alright to make fun of God and Christians and everybody's in on it and it's a funny, you know, bandwagoning ordeal, and then when you say something bad about a Muslim or something, it's like, or it's not even anything bad, but if you replicate them in any way that they are offended by it, like they make it a whole deal that it has to be politically correct to never make fun of them. It's like, you're not, like, what makes you think you have so much of a right to say that you cannot offend me when you're in my country too? It's like, get out of here, dude. Like, you can't, and then you're gonna openly make fun of Christians all day. It's like, we have been turned on our head pretty much. The Post said its source reported that a Cooper no longer would be in 2 slots and Morgan would be out of 9 p.m. The issue of gun control, which Morgan advocates, has been the subject of several of his recent shows. During one appearance, he ranted against conservatives Dana Loesch and Scotty Hughes, crumpling his notes and saying their statements made him sick. Kelsey Osterman on the Red Alert Politics blog wrote, apparently the facts don't matter at all to Morgan and his personal vendetta, but when his logic is so convoluted, all he can do is crumple his notes and throw them in a hissy fit. Morgan also berated Breitbart editor Ben Shapiro on the topic of guns, and when Pratt appeared, he went off on Mr. Pratt in a way that rarely occurs outside some of the more rugged reality shows on television, said a New York Times blog, but there's been backlash over Morgan's behavior. Out of all the people that have talked to Piers Morgan lately, and I'm a huge Alex Jones fan, but the only person that I think did a really excellent job on confronting Piers Morgan on gun debates is Shapiro. Ben Shapiro was, his approach was perfect. His delivery was perfect. I mean, the guy was like totally just picking him apart on his own show. It was really something to watch. And anyone still debating on gun control, you dummies need to get out of a coma, and your coma is been induced by all this programming of, you got foreigners like Piers Morgan telling you what to do, and you got liberals, you know, giving you speeches about all things that are, you know, politically correct. And yeah, make fun of Christians, that's okay, but if you make fun of a Muslim, you know, like, you're a bad person, you should be shot. Craig Medred at the Alaska Dispatch said, CNN talking head Piers Morgan is delusional. There is no other way to describe a transplanted Brit who thinks gun control in America will somehow make the good old US of A into some sort of clone of merry old England. He continued, the homicide rate in Alaska, where guns are everywhere, is 4 per 100,000. In New York City, where the mayor is trying to get rid of guns, the rate is 6.4 per 100,000, more than 50% higher. Gun control doesn't necessarily work at all. He noted that the homicide rate for Detroit is 48.2 per 100,000. If you guys want to go look at this article, it is, there's still a little bit here that I didn't read, but you can go look at it. It's called CNN Shakeup Expected to Push Piers Morgan under WND.com. So, you know, go look at that article and I guess read it. I guess, you know, they're taking Piers Morgan off primetime, obviously, because he has totally just discredited himself by telling American citizens that they don't have, you know, that they're KKK if they own a gun. So, you know, bloody redcoat, you lost. Loser.